7 of World Tour on Football Manager 2021. Now, since the last episode where we went through all the stats from the season, a season review episode, we have played in the Indian Federation Cup, and I wasn't expecting things to go as well as they have. So we'll just start off by running through the fixtures that we've played since the last episode, and the first of which was the first leg of the quarterfinal against Naraka. And you'll notice here that there's a player that you haven't heard of, or you probably haven't heard of. In fact, I don't think I have shown him to you before, so you definitely haven't heard of. Ronaldo Kumar, one of our youngsters, just came in this youth intake, and he has been playing tremendously, especially considering he's only 15. So we played against Naraka, and I'm going to show you Ronaldo Kumar's goal. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet whether it's a stunner or it's a fluke. So you be the judge. So here we go. Bupati with the ball down the right wing to Francis. He crosses it in. Kumar from outside the box just volleys it, but it's a bit of a tame volley. So I'm not exactly sure if it's the goalkeeper that's at fault there. But I'm not going to complain because he became our youngest ever goal scorer and the youngest ever goal scorer in the competition's history. However, he wasn't the youngest appearance maker, as that award went to this guy, David Lionel Praveen. And he's going to be a godsend because obviously Jackson Das is leaving at the end of the season. He's our left winger at the moment. Our new left winger isn't coming in until the 25th of December, Christian Saba. But Praveen has been pretty impressive in his 3 games so far. His attributes you can see there are pretty outstanding for a 15-year-old. The second leg against Naraka didn't go as well as the first. It was very entertaining for the neutrals. It ended 3-3. One goal in particular that I want to show you is Ali's goal. So here we go. Francis running down the right-hand side once again. Plays it just to the edge of the box, and Ali absolutely smashes that one. His name is Shankar Ali, but he certainly didn't shank that one. So here he is. He is the man that scored that goal. You can see his attributes have actually gone down in this past little while. Where I don't know why that is. He's getting more game time, but hopefully he'll not go down too much because I'm thinking of starting him in the next game. And I know I said if we got to the semi-final of the Federation Cup that I would play the semi-final and the final. But the semi-final is over 2 legs, and I thought, let's just see how the first leg goes. And as you can see here, the first leg went pretty well. We won 2-0 against Real Kashmir. So in today's episode, we are playing Real Kashmir in the second leg, hopefully not going to throw away a 2-goal advantage. And then we will be playing against either TRAU or Punjab FC in the final of the Federation Cup. And one thing that I've completely forgotten to mention here is obviously because Ronaldo Kumar has been playing in our Federation Cup games, the Prince is on the bench. He's on the bench today. The Prince, he could have a fight on his hands if Ronaldo Kumar continues this form. So today's team lineup is as follows. We've got Kumar Singh, as always, in goal. Vijay Shetty is playing at right back. We don't have many other options at the moment. Jishnu Balakrishnan is obviously leaving us and he's not fully fit, so can't start him. Mario Dassan and Felix Nixon continue at centre-back, and Francis Nganga returns from his sport hernia injury at left-back. Shankar Ali, one of the youngsters, is playing as the box-to-box midfielder alongside VJT, who's our centre midfielder on attack, and Sriram Bupati, who is playing in the ball-winning midfielder role today. Pravito Raju is our winger on the right. He came in to replace Elijah Francis for the last game and managed to grab himself a brace, so rewarding him with another start today. David Lionel Praveen is our left winger, and Ronaldo Kumar, our 15-year-old striker, is up front. So given we did beat this team quite comprehensively last time out, that was the first time we'd actually beaten them. We had a press interview which said you've been unable to beat this team, and we managed to beat them for the first time, I think, out of 3 occasions that we played them. So we're going to do outstretched arms in praise and say we showed we can beat them last time. So more of the same here. It seems to motivate a few people looking composed. Let's get to the tunnel interview. How important will Francis Nganga be to Chennai City today? Of course, he's very important. He's an outstanding player. He's probably one of our best players. As leading scorers in the Federation Cup, are you looking forward to another positive match in front of goal? That's certainly the aim. We're playing well, scoring goals, and that always gives us a chance to win. It's a bit weird that we are the leading scorers given our failure to score that many goals in the league this season, but I guess that's just the newbies that I've brought in. Been a lot of speculation surrounding the future of Curtis Fleming, with pundits critical and some fans losing patience for Punjab FC manager. What are your thoughts on the matter? Well, to be fair, as you can see here, got a good relationship with him. I've said that he's a friend in previous interviews, so I'm gonna defend him. He's been really harshly treated, but that's the line of a manager, unfortunately. And that's it. So there is the team lineup. 3 15-year-olds in our starting lineup today for this semi-final second leg in the Federation Cup. And we know that Krizo and Didika are danger men for Real Kashmir, as we found out in our league encounters against them. Well, given we are the high scorers in this competition, I was expecting a few more highlights than that. Absolutely zero highlights in the first half. We have had more shots on goal than them, but not on target. We've got a slightly higher XG, but it's still not great. So I can't really complain, because if it stays like this, we are obviously through to the final. But I think a bit more needs to be done. So I'm going to say it's important now more than ever to keep completely focused. Make sure we see this tie out with the lead intact. It seems to have worked for most players apart from Felix Nixon. Let's have a look at how everyone's doing with their conditioning. They seem to be fine. Ratings are pretty okay. Mario Dassan is the most concerning rating there. At centre-back, we don't actually have any centre-backs on the bench, so not comfortable replacing him anyway, but we couldn't if we wanted to. So we'll just head into the second half as we are and hope that we can see out. Even if we lose 1-0, we're through. So free kick for us on the right-hand side, just in the opponent's half. Chetri played it to Ali, gets it back from Ali. Long ball forward looking for Ronaldo. That's what I'm going to call him rather than using his full name, because he's got Ronaldo in his name, so he must be great. As we've lost the ball now, and Real Kashmir are advancing forward with Senna right at the right-hand side, just inside their half. Hamad, long ball forward. No defender gets there. It falls to Krizo. Senna right with the ball again on the right-hand side, cutting inside. Plays it to Ghani. Long ball forward to Krizo. Surely he's offside. He is. Miles offside there. Watch the replay of the offside just to see how far he... Oh no, he's not as far offside as I thought he was. Okay, fair enough. Almost 70 minutes in now, and I'm going to make a change. Shankar Ali is looking nervous in midfield, so we are going to bring on Anandraj, and what we'll do is we'll move him to ball-winning midfielder and Bupati to box-to-box midfielder. And Mario Dassan's still concerning me, but I mean, I could put Chetri there, but I'm not fully confident in his ability at centre-back, so I'm just going to leave it there. Just over 10 minutes to go now, and I'm going to bring the Prince on. Ronaldo Kumar not having the best of games today, to be fair to him, bless him. So the Prince is coming on just to give us a bit more threat in front of goal if we manage to get that far up the pitch. And as I said before, I was thinking about putting Chetri in centre-back, but Chetri's now not having the best of games either. So what do I do? I'm going to change. I'm going to take Chetri off. I'll bring on Shem Martin Eugene. No, I won't. I'll bring on Balakrishnan, because I think he can handle just over 10 minutes. And that's all our subs made for this semi-final second leg. Let's see what happens in the final 10 minutes. As Real Kashmir advance forward, but Mario Dassan heads it away. Only to Thapa, though. Thapa moving forward with it, plays it through to Farouk. Farouk with a chance. Great save from Kumar Singh, and just thumped away there by Charles Anandraj. We survive for now, but they've got a corner. Sharodka takes that corner, but Kumar Singh does brilliantly well there and claims the ball as his own. And there we go. Full time. It's 0-0. We're through to the final. What a momentous occasion for Chennai City FC. We're going to do outstretched arms and say, we're in the final. Congratulations. You all completely deserve it. I'm delighted for you all, especially given there was 3 15-year-olds in the starting lineup. Not many people would have predicted a Federation Cup final place for Chennai City, so how good does this moment feel? I'm so proud of this team. It's been quite the adventure, and it's not over yet. You managed to guide Chennai City into a first ever Federation Cup final. Congratulations, you must be delighted. I'm delighted for the players, for the fans. They all richly deserve it. I'm proud to be associated with this team. So there we go, first cup final on this game. First cup final as manager of Chennai City, and of course their first Federation Cup final too. So I'll be back in a second with that cup final. So we've received some interesting news items in the gap between the semi-final and the final, and one of them is this. A brief update from the board. With our league campaign now at an end, please note any talks regarding future expectations will start after the upcoming final. To summarise, the board are very pleased with your overall leadership of the team. The board are delighted that the team achieved a top half finish in the league this season and are very looking forward to our participation in the final and wish us the best of luck. I've not had this message before on Football Manager ahead of a final, so I just thought that was something possibly new and interesting. If you've seen this message before in your saves or anything, I'd be intrigued to let me know, because I've never seen it before. And then here is the confirmation of who our opponents are for this upcoming final. It's Punjab FC. We've not lost to them in the last 3 meetings between the sides. Obviously, we played them in the Durand Cup. It was our first match in the Durand Cup, our first match in the league, and we beat them 2-1 twice. I can't remember what the final time we beat them was. In fact, I can just click this button here and find out. So we've beaten them 2-1 twice, and we won 1-0 in the Durand Cup. And now, ahead of tomorrow's final, we're going to talk to the team about the upcoming cup final. Let's see how this goes. You don't get to play in a cup final every day, so I want you all to embrace the occasion and hopefully come home with the trophy, is what I'm going to say. Oh, no. Raju says, we're all giving everything we've got, but I don't think it's reasonable to ask that of us right now. Okay, how do I fix this? Well, raise hands to pacify, and that wasn't the overall reaction I was hoping for, although I'm grateful to those of you who do agree with me. Okay, okay, let's see who it is that who doesn't agree with me. So we've got, he's not going to play, 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 he was going to play, but I'm not sure anymore. He's not going to play. Vijayan, I don't even know who he is, but he's not going to play. Praveen was going to play, he's looking angry. Kumar Singh obviously was going to play. Shem Martin Eugene wasn't. Kumar wasn't, and Ali wasn't. Okay, so it's only Kumar Singh and Praveen that are feeling a bit negative about what I've just said. Should be fine. We'll be fine. And look at Ronaldo Kumar, yeah, putting in the training effort. He's putting an arm around him and telling him he's trained really well. Well done. You deserve this appearance in the final. So the only position that I'm slightly concerned about is right back. So Chetri's playing there. You can see from his average rating that it's 6.57. I don't recall him ever having a good game, if I'm honest with you. Balakrishnan isn't fit and is leaving us, so I don't really want to play him. We've got, I think, Othello Ali can play at right back. Yeah, he can play at right back. He seems okay. 8 tackling. 6 marking. What's his acceleration and stamina like? I think I'm gonna take Chetri off, and we're gonna play Othello Ali, and then we can put Chetri on the bench maybe. Actually, no, we're gonna put this guy on the bench, Denson Antony. I'm not sure I've shown you him. So here he is. Another 15-year-old. Surprise, surprise. But he's got a good base to build off. Let's call it that. 7 heading, 6 marking, and 6 tackling is a good base to build off. Only concern, and it's a big one, is his determination is 2. And generally, if it's like earlier versions of the game, I'm not sure about this year's game or last year's game, but if you've got low determination, you're less likely to improve your attributes. I think that's how it was, but of course, correct me if I'm wrong. I like to learn, so hit me up in the comments if you know more about that than me. But yeah, this is our team for the day. So we've got Kumar Singh in goal, Ali, Maridasan, Nixon, and Ganga in defence. Shankar Ali, VJT, and Bupati continue in the centre of midfield. Charles Anandraj is on the bench for this one. Frito Raju is coming out. Lijo Francis is back in simply because of Raju's insistent tone with me in that team meeting and not believing that we could go on to win this. Praveen, who had a similar tone but wasn't one of the lead antagonists in that meeting, continues at left wing because he's been playing really well. And Ronaldo Kumar, who trained well in midweek, hasn't been playing well the past 2 games, but you can't really expect it of a 15-year-old every game. We've obviously got the Prince on the bench, but he's suffering somewhat of a goal drought now. I'm not sure when the last time was that he scored. So that's 8 games that he's played in. 3 of those as substitutes. Well, one of them he came off at half time. And he's not scored. He did get an assist in that game there, but we're wanting you to score, Prince, and you're not doing it at the minute. So Ronaldo, who I'll just quickly nickname here. There we go. So Ronaldo is our starting striker for today's cup final. So I would normally don a suit for this sort of occasion, but I feel it's a cup that's played at the end of the season. It's not one that I was aware was going to happen, so I'm not prepared. I didn't pack my suit for this occasion when we left to come to Punjab FC. I know that's my fault entirely. But if we make a proper cup competition, I don't know, I might be offending the Indian population here by calling the Indian Federation Cup not a proper cup. But it's just the fact it's played at the end of the season. I'm not really counting it as anything. Although their other cup competition, the Durand Cup, is played at the start of the season, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I've not got my suit and tie on for this one. But maybe next time, definitely next time, next cup final that we appear in, I will wear my suit. So I'm going to pump fists, as is becoming the fashion, and say these fans have been fantastic for us. They're the ones who really pay your wages. Get out there and win this trophy for them. And nobody cares. So Kumar Singh and Praveen are feeling nervous. Kumar Singh is another youngster sort of as well, isn't he? He's 21. Okay. Praveen's nerves I can understand, as is Aaron Rodriguez's nerves as well. He's 15 as well. I've got a 15-year-old on the bench. There's 15-year-olds coming out of our pores here at Chennai City, and a lot of them are top quality. So here's Rahul Das from the Mahali Football Review asking, can we win the cup here today? I hope so. That's what I'll say. He continues, how much of an edge does the fact that we're unbeaten in 3 matches against Punjab FC give us as kickoff approaches? It's important to use every tool at your disposal to try to win psychologically. The longer the run lasts, the better chance we have of beating them. So it absolutely matters. How are we approaching the task of keeping the Federation Cup's leading goal scorers quiet here? That was us last game. So Punjab obviously pulled it out against TRAU. I know how good we can be and I trust my players to do their jobs. How do you intend to seize the initiative against an opponent who, like Chennai City, prefer to dominate possession? At the end of the day, I believe we're better than they are and that we can play this match on our terms. So here we go. Here's their lineup. They've obviously got Jobby Justin. I'm not going to make fun of his name this time because I fell for that last time he scored against us. And there's our team. The team of how many 15-year-olds? I think we've got 3 15-year-olds playing today again. And I think Ali is 17 and right back. So a big game, big crowd. Let's see how we do. So it's Punjab with the throw-in on the left-hand side, just inside our half. And Ali with a nice tackle there. Francis gives it to Shankar Ali. We've got 2 Alis playing. Shankar Ali gets it back from Francis. Now it's Ronaldo. Switches play to Praveen beautifully. Praveen plays that back to the left back, Francis Nganga, who advances forward with it. Plays it back to Praveen, and they're just going to pass it amongst themselves for a little bit, whilst Praveen finds himself in space and plays a lovely through ball to Ronaldo. It's Ronaldo! Ronaldo scores! The 2 15-year-olds coming together to put Chennai City 1-0 up in the Federation Cup final. Praveen, running down the wing, played it back to Nganga, found the space, he made the man come out to Nganga, and then played a beautiful through ball through the defence for Ronaldo to finish at the near post. Corner for Punjab FC, Pradhan takes it. Maridasan heads it away nicely. Could this be a counter-attacking opportunity for us now? Francis, we know he likes to dribble. Is he going to go it alone? Francis has got 2 men to beat. Skips past him. No, does he? Is that a penalty? No, Ray won the ball fairly, and Jobby Justin flicks on the clearance to Passy, and it could be a chance for Punjab to equalise. And that's exactly what happens. Sumit Passy, with his 8th goal of the season, after a Jobby Justin pass, it was a clearance from what I thought was going to be a Lijo Francis goal that was flicked on by Jobby Justin and Passy with the finish. Corner for Punjab. Pradhan crosses it in. Passy's there again. It's headed away. It's going to come to Danilo Kipapa. Pradhan crossed it in again, but it was blocked. But it's going to come to Justin in the box, and Justin scores. Punjab have turned this around. Jobby Justin has scored against us yet again. And the top goal scorers in the competition have shown just why they are that. And it's a throw in for Punjab deep in our half. It's Umam with the ball in. This is looking like it could turn into TREU territory here. Kipapa with the long ball collected by Kumar Singh. So far we've had one shot on target, one shot altogether, and that was the goal. They've had about 10 shots. So we need to change something at half time. And Othello Ali, that's not what we want you to do, pal. Jobby Justin with it in the centre of the field, plays it back to Rai, back through, beautiful through ball to Justin, and Justin scored. It's 3-1. This has gone horribly. After being 1-0 up, after 11 minutes, we're now 3-1 down at half time, and look at that XG. Look at the shots. One shot, one on target. They've had 13, 7 of them on target. It's no wonder they're beating us. I'm very close to throwing a water bottle, but I'll just thrash my arms instead. I'm far from pleased with what I just saw. Pratik Kumar Singh still nervous. Let's see what we can do about this position that we find ourselves in. So Ali is technically at fault for one of the goals because he gave the ball away, but he's only young and still learning, so we can't blame him for that. Antony, who was the player I'd bring on him to replace Ali, is looking anxious, so I don't want to do that. Charles Anandraj is looking motivated, so we shall we? We'll bring him on for Bupathy in the ball-winning midfielder area. And I don't want to take Ronaldo off because he's having a good game. Lijo Francis is not having a good game. Raju, I apologise for upsetting you. You may be right in insisting that we can't win it and that I was putting too much pressure on you, but just go out there and try and make it less embarrassing. So free kick, and Ganga takes it. Is that off the bar? No, it was punched away by the goalkeeper, and Passy comes out with it. Is he going to play Passy with Beishia? He is. He plays it through to him. I don't know why I was happy about that, but it's a good save by Kumar Singh. It's a corner for Punjab. Pradhan crossed in. Kipapa's there. Good save from Kumar Singh again. Okay, so I'm pausing the game and we are going to go attacking. We are not doing well here. And what I'm going to do is VJT. This is a formation that I've not used this season. I've literally only used the one formation, so I don't know how they're going to react to it. We're going to take VJT off. We're going to bring on the 15-year-old Aaron Rodriguez. I didn't mean to click on that. We're going to play him as an advanced playmaker on attack and see how we go. This could leave us open a little bit in the centre midfield, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I believe that's our final change as well. So it's down to the players that are on the field to do the job for us. We've had a second shot. That's something. So it's Punjab advancing forward yet again. Aswani, that should be won by Ali, it is, but he gives it straight back to Punjab, and it's Ridas. He crosses it in. Jobby Justin skies that high and wide, not at all handsome, I guess, as the FIFA commentators used to say. Free kick, Nganga. Can we get a late consolation goal? Headed off the bar. I'm not sure whether that was Felix Nixon or Andraj. And I don't know what's happened here. I think it was going to show the lifting of the trophy for Punjab. There it is. It is showing the lifting of the trophy for Punjab FC. So we have lost in this cup final. Very disappointingly. As we just watch them celebrate. How disappointing. Well, that's enough of that. So, now, do I be kind to them and say we're underdogs? No, I don't. I thrash my arms like a little toddler and I say, it's unacceptable that you couldn't bring that shiny, shiny trophy back to me, for me to hold up, for me to put in my trophy cabinet at home. I'd made a space for it and everything, and you failed to bring that back. So There you go. It actually worked. It seemed motivated. Oh no. How would you feel in the immediate wake of such a disappointment? Asks Ashim Singh from the Indian Football Post. Well, I'm going to point finger assertively and say, we let the fans down, we weren't good enough out there, and I have to take responsibility for that. Such a disappointing result surely means it's back to the training ground and back to the drawing board for you. Well, I disagree with that, because we managed to make a cup final. There's no need to panic or deviate. I'll just say we'll see what tomorrow brings. There was some bafflement among supporters that you seemingly refused to substitute Othello Ali despite his clearly below par performance. What is your response to that? I don't think I had anyone I could bring on, did I? I might be wrong, but I don't think there was a like-for-like change that I could make. Would I agree that Jobby Justin was the best player on the pitch today? Well, he was certainly one of them. He played well. It's going to happen sometimes. Do you remember he might be leaving Punjab? What do you make of Curtis Fleming's chances of keeping hold of him after such a fine performance? Well, if he's playing well in this league and he's not been scoring that many goals. I don't know, he's playing well at Punjab, so I don't see any reason why he'd want to leave. There we go, I'll just protect my mate's player. So there it is, confirmation defeat in the cup final. Our first ever cup final. Othello Ali made his debut. I didn't even realise that was his debut. I thought I'd played him before. Well, he wasn't very good on debut, was he? We'll not do the press conference on this episode. We have received some money though, £15,000 for finishing second in the Federation Cup. Not bad at all. And speaking of money, this is our transfer budget. So it was around, they did give me one of around 90 grand or something to start with, but the wage budget was about 7 grand. So I've just adjusted the budget a little bit so that we're in budget. Apparently we are currently spending 9,594, but our committed spending is 7,898 once everyone leaves who's leaving and everyone's released who's being released. So we've got a transfer budget of 42,000 for next season. I don't think I'm going to spend anything, you know. I don't think I'm going to buy any players either. I think the 15-year-olds that we've got coming through, they've earned their chance to, if not start in the starting lineup, challenge for starting in the starting lineup just through their performances in the Federation Cup. Although saying that, I am now thinking I probably do need a right back. So unless one of the under-18s right backs starts becoming really, really good, it might be in the market for a right back. Incidentally, just before we end the episode, I completed my National B licence. So well done me. Now studying for a National A licence. Another thing that I forgot to tell you across the entirety of the season, it hasn't started yet, I don't think. Oh no, it has. It technically started in January, but I don't think it really starts until July. But our youth facilities are going to be improved. The board agreed. I asked them and they agreed. And they're going to be completed by the 20th of October. So that should help us get even better players in. And since we're on the club vision board, let's just see how the board think we're doing at the moment. So they're very pleased with our possession football. They're reserving judgment on developing players using the club's youth system, but I'm pretty sure they'll be pleased with that given the quality of players that we've already got coming through. They're devastated, apparently, bless them. Devastated, what a strong word to use, that we failed to sign players from the lower levels of the domestic game. If I have a discussion with them about the club culture, I'll probably choose to remove that one because I think developing players using the club's youth system is enough. And they're pleased that we are signing enough Indian players. Struggling with working within the wage budget, but that should fix itself next season when we get rid of some dead wood. And we've passed our minimum competition expectations. I didn't even realise I had expectation for the Federation Cup, but we passed that by reaching the semi-final. I'm expecting them to come to me after the final, like they mentioned, about discussing the 5-year plan, because I think that needs to change given we finished top half the table this season. But overall, I've got a B grade in my manager performance. So they're pleased with our performance against Naraka in the cup. Very pleased with the level of support I've got in the squad, and apparently pleased with our 2-0 win over Gokulam Kerala 3 months ago, whatever it was. But just speaking of the dynamics and the atmosphere, this is what a dynamic screen is looking like for us at the moment. So we've got good team cohesion, good club atmosphere, and very good managerial support. And the majority, all but 4 of the players, support me. One of them that doesn't is Mario Dassan. Now that he's got no opinion of me, doesn't offend me as much, I guess. And then the other three are just youth players. Martin Eugene's leaving, and then Shankar Ali and Rodriguez have just come in. So can't expect everyone to like me just yet. But also looking at the hierarchy, you may remember from one of the first episodes that we didn't have any team leaders. We do now have team leaders. Francis Nganga, but he's obviously quite old. So I'm hoping that some of the younger ones, I can't remember how old these people are. Yeah, so Bupati's 27. Anandraj is getting on a little bit. But yeah, we've got these players here minus Singh, who are highly influential players. We didn't have any highly influential players when we started with Chennai City. So I'm hoping that these guys getting more game time and everything become the team leaders, and we won't miss Nganga too much if and when he does retire. And you'll also notice here that we have one promise that we need to fulfill, and that is the sale of Kabir Taufik. So he was our backup goalkeeper this season. He has requested a transfer. I'm not going to say no. Nobody wants him at the minute, so I might have to reduce the asking price. I might even have to just sell him for nothing to let him go, but I don't really care. £250 back into the wage budget if he does go. But hopefully, provided there's no more surprise competitions that's going to come up. So there was another surprise. It's not another surprise competition, it's just something that completely skipped my mind. So we have an end of season review, which I completely forgot about, to be quite honest with you. But we'll run through that now just before we finish this episode. So this page is called the New Arrivals. It says we didn't sign many new players this season, but we strengthened the squad in important places, and the stability in our squad contributed to our successes. So we've got Francis Nganga there and the Prince. So apparently we got Francis Nganga from Loughran. I thought we got him on a free transfer, but that must have been the previous club that he played for before he got released. And then, of course, the Prince for $27,500. And board transfer reactions. The board are pleased with the deal to sign Francis Nganga. The season's results, they say that we were one of the competitors, the competition's surprise packages, consistently defying expectations and owing largely to an impressive spell of form between January and February. Let's have a look at that here. So that's from the Churchill Brothers game all the way down to the Indian Arrows game where we were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We won 5 games. I mean, it's not that impressive, to be fair. We were able to rise to 3rd and celebrate a successful campaign despite finishing 5th. But yeah, it was a successful campaign. The board have given us a B- for that. They're pleased with the management of the team. I've ran through most of this. Our average home attendance was only 33% of our capacity, so that's something that we can improve on next season. Moments to remember. So our biggest win was a 2-0 win in the Indian Durand Cup against Gokulam Kerala right back in August in the start of the season. Our match to remember was the 3-3 draw in the Indian Federation Cup where we drew with Naraka. And then the goal of the season was that fabulous... Is it fabulous? That volley from Ronaldo, which just seemed to trickle in from the edge of the box. It says here, our success definitely helped the club's finances. So our club reputation hasn't improved. There's no new sponsorship deals this year. Apparently, annual revenue is up. I'm assuming that's what the green means, but that's because there's nothing to compare it against, obviously, because it's the first season in the game. We sold 1,513 shirts, and I assume because Nganga is the biggest picture here, he must be our best shirt seller, followed by the Prince, Singh, strangely Singh, I'm assuming that's Robin Singh, Raju, and Maria Dassan. So this is how I lined up, apparently, this season. This is our average team that we've put out. It says we rotated the team a fair amount this season, but our key players played a major role in how the season turned out. So they've got our average team as being Kumar Singh in goal, Balakrishnan and Maria Dassan, Felix Nixon and Nganga in defence, Bupati, Anandraj and Madha in midfield, Raju and Das on the wings. Surprising there's no Lijo Francis in there. And then the Prince up front. The accolades, manager awards, nothing. Player awards from the club. So the fans player of the season, Maria Dassan. Young player of the season, Maria Dassan. Signing of the season, Francis Nganga. Goal of the season, of course, Ronaldo. Top goal scorer was the Prince with 6 goals. And most assists was also the Prince with 6 goals. Most player of the match awards, Mario Dasan. Highest average rating, Mario Dasan. Do they really need to go to that many decimal places? My gosh. Competition awards, we've already ran through them. Obviously, Mario Dasan won the Young Player of the Year award and the Defender of the Year award. There's been some record breakers as well, apparently. So most overall goals by a player in the season, the Prince with his 7. Most league goals by a player in the season, the Prince with 6. Most goals by a player in a match, Raji with 2. Most goals by a player in a league match, the Prince with 1. I'm assuming there's no records previous to this season, and that's why we're getting all these records here. Most assists by a player in the season, the Prince with 6. Most clean sheets by a player in the season, Kumar Singh with 9. Most player of the match awards in the season, Mario Dasan with 6. Worst discipline was Jude Felix Nixon with 4 yellow cards. Most league appearances was Charles Anandraj with 51. So that's obviously taken into account his previous appearances for the club. Youngest player was Praveen, one of our 15-year-olds. He was 15 years and 182 days when he made his debut. Oldest player, Francis Nganga, 20 years his senior. The highest transfer fee paid was obviously the Prince, £27,500. Youngest goal scorer was Shankar Ali, 15-year-old again, and the oldest goal scorer was Charles Anandraj. And here's an interesting report. It's our seasonal performance analyst report, and it shows us that we are performing pretty close to average in general in the National Football League, according to the National Football League's average. And our XG of an average of 1.5 per match is what it was this season. And judging by that, our XG was 19.6, actual goals 20, expected points 29.6, actual points 29, and then expected points position 5th. That's where we finished. So pretty accurate there. Our defensive efficiency seems to suggest that we're quiet but leaky. So we aren't troubled with many attempts, is how I would take that. But when we are, we tend to concede. And then our attacking efficiency is that we're aggressive but wasteful. So we pepper the goal with shots, but they tend to go wide, is what I'm reading from that. Quite negative, really. But now we have a meeting to discuss our club vision and expectations. So I'm gonna negotiate. I think they want us to change this to maintain a top half finish because of our finish to the league campaign last year. I do want to get rid of... Oh, have they got rid of it already? Okay, so they've actually got rid of it themselves. It was signing players from the lower divisions of Indian football. They've replaced that one now with do not sign players over the age of 30, which is interesting. What are our 2 transfers that are coming in? How old are they? Okay, they're under 30, so that's fine. But obviously we have had a couple of over 30s signed for us with Robin Singh, the 31-year-old, and Francis Nganga, the 35-year-old left-back. But we won't be able to do that anymore. Play possession football I'm happy with. Happy with developing players using the club's youth system and signing Indian players. That's all fine with me. Might not need to negotiate this then. Because I don't want to really make things more difficult than they need to be in terms of expectations. If they're asking for a top half finish, if we can do better than that, amazing. I'm not going to put pressure on us and possibly make us lose our job. So I'll accept the current vision. It's now time to have a team meeting and discuss our plans for the next season with the lads. And I'm going to say it's been a long season. I hope you all have a good break. You're going to need to come back fully refreshed because I'm aiming to finish in the top half next time around. I'm expecting some negative reactions here, so I'm just going to look away. Well, that's surprising. Everyone's looking and feeling positive about that. Francis Nganga, the team leader, says, "Come on, guys, the boss is right. We can finish in the top half." I'm extremely happy with that. I'll stretch my arms in praise and say that's exactly the sort of reaction I was after. And Nganga replies with, "I'm delighted we share the same level of ambition. We can get finish in the top. That must be meaning to say we can get a finish in the top half for sure." Why do I need to make promises? Okay, I'm intrigued. I'd now like to discuss some promises I'm willing to make for the next season. Oh my. What is this? I'm not making any changes to the squad, I don't think. I don't want to promise that. Staff and coaching, I might make changes to. Oh, I can say that. I'm going to be looking at the younger players in the squad and giving them a chance to the first team. Sounds good to me. Balakrishnan's downcast. Oh, what a shame for you, lad. I'm not sure that'll really change anything, but if everyone else is happy, by all means, go for it. I will, because you're not going to be here. So jog on, get yourself out the door. That's enough promises for now. All sounds good to Nganga. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you at the start of pre-season. Conversation appeared to have a slightly negative effect on Balakrishnan's morale, which I couldn't give a toss about, given he is out the door. So pretty pleased with the reaction from this team meeting. So interestingly, it appears that the season will be starting later than it did this time around, as the players will only report back for training on the 30th of August, which is incidentally my birthday. But last season we were playing games at the beginning of August, so I don't know what's going on there. I don't know whether that's going to change or not, but interesting nonetheless. And we've just got a few more awards come in from the Indian Federation Cup this time. Most valuable player, the winner was Danilo Kipapa for Punjab FC. Second place is Manoj Mohammed. But third place is Francis Nganga from Chennai City. So well done him for getting the bronze in that award. And then Ronaldo has managed to get third place in the top goal scorer award as well. So there's 3 players that all scored 3 goals. Assuming that Rami was won because of his average rating. That's all I can guess. But I'm pretty confident now that is going to be the end of the season. There's not going to be any surprise competitions that are going to come out of nowhere. So join me in the next episode where we will start our season. It might be the beginning of August, might be September. I honestly don't know at this point. But it's going to be interesting nonetheless as we try and challenge for the title. Despite what our expectations are, we're going to try and challenge for the title and try and get out of India after 2 seasons. But that is it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel to get all my content when it comes out. Click the notification bell to stay notified, and I'll see you next time.